Yeah, tune in, come on, let's play. The Creative Voices podcast is here to stay. With Mike and Brooks, we'll like the way. Unleash your voice, don't wait another day. Speak it loud, let your spirit soar. Master the art, open every door. Join the fun, hear the stories unfold. Find your voice, let your talent be bold. Yeah.
Welcome to the Creative Voices Podcast, the show where the magic of communication meets the art of voice acting. Join your hosts, Michael Ian Cooper, known as Mike, and Victoria Olivia Xavier, or Vox, as they explore the incredible power of your voice. From mastering vocal techniques to connecting with your audience, each episode is packed with insights, tips, and inspiring stories from industry experts. Whether you're a seasoned professional or just starting your journey, get ready to unleash your voice's true potential. Let's dive in and discover the impact your voice can have on the world.
Welcome to the very first episode of the Creative Voices Podcast, where we unlock the secrets behind the art of communication and voice acting. I'm your host, Michael Ian Cooper, but you can call me Mike.
And I'm your co-host, Victoria Olivia Xavier, also known as Vox. Together, we're here to help you discover the true power of your voice.
This is the show where we'll explore not just the technical side of voice acting, but the emotional and psychological impact of using your voice effectively. Whether it's for performance, public speaking, or just in everyday conversations, mastering your voice can change how people see you and how you see yourself.
Exactly, Mike. This episode is all about finding your voice. Whether you're new to voice acting, looking to improve your communication skills, or just wanting to understand the full potential of your voice, get ready to embark on an exciting journey of creativity and connection.
We'll be diving into the basics of vocal expression, discussing how voice acting is more than just sounding good. It's about storytelling, connection, and emotion. Or simply find your unique voice. This podcast is for you. Let's get started.
This is the Creative Voices Podcast.
All right, let's jump right in.
Sounds good to me.
You've sent us a ton of articles.
Oh!
And even a YouTube video
Right.
from way back in 2005 about Filipino voice acting. So this is obviously something you're really interested in. Are you thinking about maybe lending your voice to a project?
Maybe.
Well, you're in for a treat today because we're going to uncover the story of Pocholo Gonzalez, the voice master, and the rise of Filipino voice acting.
You know, what I think is really interesting is how this all began. So picture the Philippines in the 1980s. Limited opportunities, no internet as we know it. And you have a young Pocholo, just 7 years old at this point. And he finds himself captivated by these late-night radio dramas, particularly one called Gabi ng Lagim, or Night of Doom in English. Can you imagine? The chilling voices, the sound effects, all just filling his room.
Oh, I bet that really sparked his imagination. He didn't just listen, did he?
Absolutely not. Pocholo took his fascination to a whole other level, and he began imitating all the voices he heard. Now that's dedication. That goes way beyond a simple childhood phase, and this ultimately led him, at age 16, to win a radio contest. And that skyrocketed him to voice acting fame in the Philippines.
Wow, that's incredible. Talk about a natural talent. It sounds like he had it made at such a young age. So what happened next?
And this is where the story gets really interesting. Despite his early success, Pocholo faced a lot of rejection, particularly from established industry figures, who deemed him, get this, not good enough.
Really? Wow. I can't believe that. What could they possibly find lacking in his talent? That must have been really disheartening.
Yeah, it might sound familiar. It's the classic tale of the underdog facing some setbacks. But this rejection, this became a real turning point for Pocholo. Instead of accepting defeat, it fueled his ambition even more. He realized that true success requires more than just raw talent. It demands creating your own opportunities. And this realization is actually what led him to establish Creative Voices Productions in 2005, with a vision to propel the Philippines to the forefront of the Asian voiceover scene.
Wow. Now that's what I'm talking about, turning obstacles into opportunities.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes about his character and his determination.
And he didn't stop there. Recognizing the lack of formal training in the industry, he also launched the Philippines' first voice acting school, the Philippine Center for Voice Acting. Pocholo was clearly determined to empower others, to give them the skills and the knowledge that he had to fight so hard to gain.
So he's not just a talented voice actor. He's a visionary entrepreneur and an educator. That's remarkable. So this begs the question, what does Pocholo himself say about what it takes to break into voice acting?
Well, he's very vocal about a common misconception, that a naturally good voice is all you need. He emphasizes that a pleasing voice, while it can be an asset, it's merely a starting point.
Right. It makes sense. There's got to be more to it than just sounding pleasant.
Exactly. Pocholo really advocates for voice acting as an art form. That demands dedication. It demands training and a deep understanding of technique. It's about embodying a character, conveying emotions, breathing life into words.
So it's about more than just reading a script. It's about captivating an audience with your voice.
Yeah.
That's a real skill, a skill that requires honing.
I agree, and his workshops, like VoiceWorks, are really a testament to this philosophy. Running for over 15 years, they've helped over 2,000 graduates refine their skills. And the success of students. Some have even gone on to become radio DJs. It really demonstrates the effectiveness of his approach. Pocholo isn't just talking the talk, he's walking the walk.
That's amazing. But for those of us who haven't grown up imitating radio dramas, is it really possible to learn this craft? Can training truly replace that natural talent?
That's a great question, and it's actually something we're going to explore further as we delve deeper into the world of Filipino voice acting. You know, it's funny, when we talk about natural talent, Pocholo's own story really challenges that idea. Remember those early rejections he faced? He actually says quite often that even having a great voice isn't a guarantee of success. It's the commitment to refining your skill set that really sets you apart.
So it's more about dedication and hard work than just having a naturally gifted voice. That's pretty encouraging to hear.
Exactly. And this idea of accessibility, it's something that really comes through in the research you've provided. You know, the Philippine Center for Voice Acting even offers scholarships. They want to make training attainable for aspiring voice actors from all walks of life.
That's amazing. It really shows his commitment to nurturing talent, not just, seeking profit. It sounds like he's genuinely invested in fostering that next generation of voice actors.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond just financial assistance as well. The NHK article highlights a really inspiring story of Monette Mahine, the Philippines' first blind voice actor. Her success is a testament to the fact that passion and perseverance can really overcome any obstacle, especially with the right support.
Wow, her story is incredibly inspiring. And it really underscores how inclusive and diverse this field can be. You know it's about so much more than just how your voice sounds. It's about the passion, the dedication, and that unique perspective that you bring to every role.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of breaking barriers, let's talk about Filipino voice actors making their mark on the global stage.
Now we're talking. This is what I'm really curious about. What kind of international projects are we talking about?
Well, remember those classic Sega games that you might have played growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Some of those iconic voices actually originated in the Philippines thanks to Creative Voices.
Wow, that's amazing. I never would have guessed. What other unexpected places might we have heard Filipino voice actors?
You're right. It's not just video games. We're talking Netflix, Microsoft, even the Tagalog dub of the anime Kaiju no 8. Filipino voice actors are lending their talents to such a wide array of projects these days.
For sure. It's like the world has become a much smaller place, which opens up a world of opportunities for voice actors who might not have had access to these kinds of opportunities before.
Exactly. And with the rise of home studios as well, voice actors have more control over their careers than ever. They can collaborate with studios and clients from all over the world.
Wow. It sounds like a really exciting time to be a voice actor.
Yeah.
But speaking of a changing landscape, there's another significant factor we need to address: artificial intelligence.
Ah, yes. AI, the elephant in the room for a lot of industries these days. And voice acting is no exception.
For sure. It's incredible how sophisticated AI voices have become. I mean, how can aspiring voice actors even begin to compete with technology that can churn out these flawless performances on demand? It feels a bit daunting, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a valid concern, but I think it's crucial to remember that AI, at least for now, is a tool.
A very advanced tool.
Yeah.
And a rapidly evolving tool, but a tool nonetheless.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
And like any tool, it has its strengths and its limitations. While AI can undoubtedly generate some very impressive results, it still lacks that certain human element.
Yeah.
That's really crucial to truly captivating performances.
So where does that leave human voice actors in this evolving landscape? Should they be worried about being replaced?
Not at all. In fact, I'd argue that it places human voice actors in a position of strength.
Oh, really? How so?
What AI lacks and what humans inherently possess is that intangible spark of lived experience. It's the ability to infuse a performance with genuine emotion, vulnerability, and that inexplicable, something special that really resonates with audiences on a deeply personal level.
Right. It's that raw, authentic human connection that truly makes a performance memorable.
Exactly. And that's a nuance that, despite all its advancements, AI just can't quite replicate, at least not yet.
That is reassuring to hear. So we've established that voice acting, it remains a viable career path, even in the Philippines. And that AI, while definitely a force to be reckoned with, it isn't poised to replace human voice actors entirely. But what about the practical side of things? Where can someone even start if they're interested in pursuing voice acting?
Yeah, let's get practical.
So for someone listening right now who's totally inspired, wants to give this voice acting thing a shot, where do they even begin?
Well, it's like learning any craft, really. You need to approach it with dedication, consistent practice, and a thirst for knowledge.
So treat it like a serious endeavor, not just a hobby.
Exactly. And a crucial aspect that Pocholo highlights in one of the articles is understanding your voice as an instrument. It involves targeted exercises, warm-ups, proper vocal care, much like an athlete would train for peak performance.
Right. You wouldn't expect to run a marathon without proper training.
Precisely. And the best part is, there are so many accessible resources available now. YouTube channels, podcasts, even apps dedicated to vocal coaching and technique. There's a wealth of knowledge at your fingertips.
Well, that's great, especially for those who might not have the means or access to formal voice acting schools. What about the actual practice itself? Any advice for someone just starting out?
Don't underestimate the power of recording yourself. It might feel awkward at first, but it's really invaluable for identifying areas for improvement that you might not even realize you have.
Yeah. I can imagine that being a bit intimidating, hearing your own voice played back, but I see how valuable that feedback loop could be.
Absolutely. Pay attention to your pacing. Are you rushing your words? How's your pronunciation? Clear and distinct. And think about the energy you're conveying. Are you too laid back? Or perhaps a bit too enthusiastic? It's all about finding that sweet spot.
Right. It's like holding up a mirror to your voice, identifying those little quirks and habits we all have.
Exactly. And here's a technique that's used a lot in the world of animation that can be surprisingly helpful. Exaggeration. Don't be afraid to push your emotional range further than you think is necessary.
Interesting. So it's about really going for it, even if it feels a bit over the top at first.
Precisely. By exaggerating those emotions, you'll discover a newfound authenticity and depth in your delivery, even when you tone it down for the final take. It's about exploring the full spectrum of the character's emotions.
Wow. That's a really interesting approach. So we've covered trading your voice, recording yourself. What about actually getting your foot in the door, so to speak?
Yeah. Once you've built a solid foundation, start exploring online casting platforms. They're a fantastic way to find a really diverse range of projects, from audiobooks to explainer videos to video games, all from the comfort of your own home.
Oh, wow. That sounds much less intimidating than traditional auditions, and it seems like a great way to gain some real-world experience.
Absolutely. You can build your portfolio, get feedback from clients, and even start getting paid for your work. And don't underestimate the power of networking either. Connect with fellow voice actors online. Share your work. Learn from each other's experiences. The voice acting community is incredibly supportive.
I love that. Collaboration over competition, lifting each other up. That's great to hear. So even with the rise of AI, there's still a place, even a demand for skilled human voices.
Absolutely. The future of voice acting is incredibly bright. Technology might be changing the landscape, but the demand for talented individuals who can breathe life into characters, tell compelling stories, and really connect with audiences on an emotional level, that will always be there.
That is both reassuring and inspiring. So as we wrap up our deep dive today into the world of Filipino voice acting, what's the key takeaway that you hope our listeners walk away with?
The world of voice acting is more accessible than ever before, with passion, dedication, and the right resources. Anyone can embark on this incredibly fulfilling journey. It's a testament to the power of the human voice, to transcend borders, connect with audiences worldwide, and make a real impact in the world of entertainment.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe someday we'll be having you back on the show, not as a listener, but as a successful voice actor yourself, sharing your own inspiring story with the world.
I would love that.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and most importantly, keep those voices heard.
This is the Creative Voices Podcast. And that's a wrap on another transformative episode of the Creative Voices Podcast. Thank you for joining us today. Together, we're building a community that celebrates the power of voice and creativity. Remember, your voice is not just a sound, it's a force that can inspire change, ignite passion, and connect hearts. As you step into your day, embrace your unique voice and let it resonate with confidence and purpose. Share your story, share your truth, and let the world hear the amazing things you have to say. We can't wait to see you again for more insights and inspiration. This is the Creative Voices Podcast, the voice of creativity.
From acting tips to vocal flair, we'll guide you through, show you how to share. In every episode there's magic inside. With every word, let your passion be your guide. So tune in, let's create, let's inspire. With every story shared, we'll climb higher. Together we'll grow, together we'll soar. In the Creative Voices, we'll open the door. Your voice is waiting, let it take flight. Join us now, together we'll shine bright.